While all is now set for the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly on Tuesday, June the 13th by President Bola Tinubu, the battle for the leadership of Nigeria's federal legislature intensifies. Lately, the Vice President Kashim Shettima has been rallying support for the anointed candidate of the All Progressives Congress, that's Senator Godswill Akpabio, just as some stakeholders have said that the Akpabio's anointment is against the zoning arrangement. Joining us now is Senator-elect for PDP Bauchi State, that's Senator Abdul Ningi, and he will be speaking on the race for the Senate presidency and the position of the opposition parties on the aspirants. Good afternoon and welcome to Arise News.
Good afternoon and thank you for having me.
It's indeed a pleasure. Now, of course, we do understand that there's been speculation that the PDP is actually collaborating with Yari in order to cause disruption. And since you happen to be the senator-elect for PDP Bauchi State, can you let us know if there's any truth to that?
Well, that's news to me. The PDP as an opposition party are stand by and are watching with interest. You recall 16 years when the PDP was in the majority of in the National Assembly, both in the House and the Senate. We had also made similar mistakes. And those mistakes have not in any way benefited the PDP, neither the nation. And I thought, having the experience of 24 years of our democracy, one would have imagined the APC must have learned from our mistakes, that is the PDP. But here we are, 23 years after, they are repeating those same mistakes that did not give the nation what it desires, what it deserves. Democracy is all about choice. And the National Assembly is an independent government. And here we are, somewhere, somehow, some people want to impose the leadership of the National Assembly. And you ask yourselves, what is it for? What is the agenda? Why are you doing this? You made mention of zoning. We PDP, we don't care about their zoning. The PDP, as far as we're concerned, the Senate President remains our property. We must have a say as who becomes the Senate President. We cannot have a say as who becomes the majority leader of the Senate run by APC. We're not having any say about who becomes the whip of the APC. We're not having a say about who becomes a principal officer, because that has to do with the senators themselves and their party. So when it comes to Senate President, that is something that we are very interested on. And believe you me, I'm so amused and surprised that for this is why you have 59 senators out of 109 belonging to one party, and yet they could not put their acts together, they cannot put their house in order, and they have split themselves. They are splitting themselves into groups, and I tell you, we know where we are going. We are not saying we are going with A or B. We have our own timetable. We have our own program. We have our own interests. All the aspirants, we invite all the aspirants, that is the opposition caucus, to come before us and tell us what they can do for us. And we listen to them, and we listen to them attentively. Thereafter, we send them our terms of agreement with them. Before tonight, I believe we are going to have replies. Whoever satisfies our terms, it is the person that we'll go with. But I can tell you, I frown are those who are maneuvering, who are scaring people. And you ask yourself, what is it for? Even if you have a Senate president, for God's sake, who you think you want him to be Senate president, is that the way to go about it? Are we not politicians? Have we not been having Senate president and speakers over the last 23 or 24 years or thereabout? So why are you doing this in this manner? Unless, of course, there is something under the table that people don't understand.
Okay, then. Thank you very much, Senator, for setting the tone of this conversation. But let's talk about Vice President Kashim Shettima's statement that he made in a speech urging senators-elect to vote for the anointed candidates of the All Progressives Congress for the position of the Senate President and Deputy Senate President in the 10th National Assembly, where he said under the current dispensation, the worst, the most incompetent Southern Christian is better than the most puritanical Northern Muslim for the presidency of the Senate. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you think it's going to affect tomorrow's outcome?
Well, I listen to him. The vice president is a brother and a friend, but we belong to two political class. He's an APC person, and I'm a PDP person. And I look at those statements. If not, I had them through video, I wouldn't believe that it came from his very mouth. He's, as far as the political dispensation of today is concerned, he is a leader of northern Nigeria. And I believe such remarks, he should have thought about it, but he has said it. He probably has his own reason for saying that, but I believe these are not remarks that will gladden people. In northern Nigeria, both Christians and Muslims. And for me, it is unexpected remark coming from him, knowing the kind of person he is, knowing the intelligent person that he has been. So I left it for his party men, the APC senators, to deal with that. As for me, I tell you, we have our own plan, and our plan is going so far so well.
Thank you, Senator. You made it clear that your plan is going, very well, even though you're not giving us details on that plan. I understand your discretion. But we do understand, if we're going to go by the account of a former Cross River commissioner, he says the current situation in the race is that Akpabio is being backed by the ruling party and that 75 senators elect, including those in the opposition political parties, are doing the same. Can you confirm if any level to which the statement might be true?
Well, you just said it. You just said it yourself. Tomorrow is a D-Day, and they have given you their numbers. And for now, we're not questioning their numbers, but we are telling you where we are going to put our support. And when I say where we are going to put our support, I'm talking to you about 50 opposition senators. We have met severally, over 16 times in the last 2 months, and we have agreed, we have debated, and we know where we are going. They have 71 members. Good luck to them. We will see on Monday.
All right, then, thank you. I want to just pull your attention to the coalition of the northern groups that has expressed worry over an alleged plan to intimidate and arrest key northern aspirants for the House of Representatives speakership position and the Senate presidency. We're getting stories of intimidation and threats against those supporting Yari, with even a report of a possible arrest of Yari himself. What can you tell us about this? Have you heard any reports regarding this particular development?
Yeah, I do. I had a program yesterday in Channels, and believe me, on my way to the program at 9 o'clock, a friend called me and asked me that he was coming to my house, and I told him I was leaving for a program in Channels at 9 o'clock. He said I should not. I said, why not? He said that he had that some people who are opposed to Akpabio will be arrested, and that Ibn Yari himself, there is that rumor the whole nation is so anxious, and I see that anxiety as unnecessary. If you had listened to the president's speech on that inaugural day, you believe me that there shouldn't be anything like that. The president emphasized times without number that during his time, there will be dissenting opinion, there will be freedom of speech, there will be freedom of association, and that has been his cardinal position over time. But the full soldiers, I can tell you, continue to scare people, continue to manipulate those who fear, those who are afraid. You can't rule by fear. You can't rule by manipulation. This country has seen it all. People are watching us. Nigerians are watching us. The international community are watching us. I had these rumors. These rumors are growing by the day, but I believe nothing like that will happen. I have no doubt in my mind there is no serious security agent or agency that will be made to do what they did during Tambua Molikat saga. And I'm sure we have, as a nation, we have experienced that, and we have put that incident behind us. The issue of a Senate president, it is the chamber, it is the people that will make the Senate president, not vice versa. So if all you are trying to do is to get a Senate president can go there and do nothing for you. But when you have the loyalty, the acceptance of the people to the Senate president, that is when you have an inroad into the parliament. And I find it really difficult to understand the unnecessary clamor, insistence that a particular person must be, and there is no other option but that person. In democracy, as far as I'm concerned, there must be always options. There must always be A, B, C, and D. But let's see how it plays. We are veteran to the game. We've been around. I've been in the National Assembly for 16 years. I'm coming here again for the 5th time. I know the intrigues. We know the maneuvers. But I can tell you, force, intimidation, fear will not give you what you want. And history is there for people to recall.
Noted, Senator. Now, you just spoke about having options. And even though you are, I know you're being rather discreet for your own, in your own interest, but I'm wondering if you could disclose to us who you'd like to see emerge as Senate President based on your own observation, or a host of candidates that you might like to see emerge as Senate President tomorrow.
My dear, unfortunately, I've been actually limited by the opposition choice and the opposition understanding of where we will go. Unfortunately, I have my own choice, but if my choice goes contrary to the opposition bloc's choice, there's nothing I can do. I will follow them because we agreed, we debated, but at the end of the day, I want a Senate President freely chosen by the senators on Monday, tomorrow. It can be Apabio, it can be Yari, it can be Osita, it can be Kalu. I don't care. As long as we emerge through a peaceful, transparent, honest process, you'll be my Senate President, no matter what happens.
All right, then. Still talking options. Now, I want to talk about how much religion in itself is a factor. Now, presently, the president and the vice president of Nigeria are Muslims, and the anointed candidate of the APC for the speakership seat, Abbas Tajuddin, is a Muslim as well from Kaduna State. Now, by this calculation, Yari contesting for the Senate presidency means that Muslims will hold all 4 significant positions in the country in a secular state like Nigeria. Now, there have been arguments that people are saying if religion is really an important factor, that there are 13 Christian senators from the north. If that really is the problem here, why can't they be chosen from that group? I want to find out from you how much of religion is a factor for you?
You know, I'm a member of the PDP. And for me, and for members of the PDP, it's immoral to have a Muslim ticket or a Christian ticket. It has never happened with our party, and it will never happen going forward. These are the same arguments they canvass before the general election, that it doesn't matter. The Muslim ticket they put forward doesn't matter. And yet, Nigerians actually testify that it doesn't matter because they were voted with a Muslim ticket. So it confuses my mind, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians' mind. You have a Muslim president, a Muslim vice president, and heaven has not fallen. And you are the same people that are saying that we must have a Muslim Senate president, a Muslim Christian Senate president. That people are not kids. We are too wise than that. When I was in the Senate, David Mark was a Christian. He was the Senate president. Ikore Madu was a Christian. Oh, he's a Christian. He was the deputy senator. In the National Assembly, my dear, when you come, you must subject your whims and caprices and put the nation fast forward. Religious affiliation is dropped. Party affiliation is dropped. Regional affiliation is dropped because in no circumstance will you have a motion pass on religious ground. In no circumstances will you have a law pass on religious ground. Therefore, as far as the National Assembly is concerned, that is not a place that you bring religion. We appreciate it, we understand it, but over the years, religion has never played a part in the history of our National Assembly. Consequently, therefore, those who are making such arguments, they have formed the federal government. They are in government. Let's see from themselves, from their priority areas. Let's Nigerians see it. How do they address that imbalance from those things they control, not from those things that they cannot control? Let's see from their appointments. Let's see whether that is not a gimmick. And Nigeria will say yes. They have begun to address areas that, like they promised, and now they are having a second thought about the arrangement. Let's appoint that Christian in such positions within their own purview, within their own control, within their own powers. But believe me, they don't have that powers to come to the National Assembly and tell us to exercise such powers when they themselves have not done it when the need arises.
Duly noted, Senator Abdul. Well, we do understand that recently Yari addressed senators from the north, and he was, basically talking about the narrative about the marginalization of the north, which voted overwhelmingly for President Bola Tinubu. I don't know if you happened to be present during that address, but I'm wondering how much you think, or how much progress you think that narrative will grant Yari in terms of what he's seeking.
Well, the narratives is out there, my dear. The narratives is out there, and as an opposition member, I just smile and shake my head because what is it? It was such narratives that actually prevented us from forming the government, the PDP government. And 2 months after, people are coming to complain. And what are you complaining of? We've said it times without number. So therefore, the narrative is there. Those who did what they did are around, and they're still helping so they can deal with such situations. As for me, I am focused. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm a fan Nigerian. I don't look at Yari as a northerner at all. I see him as an aspirant trying to woo me and I look at my interests, who can, given the nature of Nigerian federation, protect me, protect my constituency, protect my region, and protect my religion. And therefore, I weigh every other candidate that comes before me. Can he? Will he? Should he? Will he be manipulated? Will he listen to me? When he becomes Senate President, can he carry me alone? Will he be able to adequately grow the polity of the National Assembly as an independent arm of the government? Will he be fearful? Will he be scared in undertaking some of these issues? These are some of the parameters that people watch. I personally put behind before I accept you as a leader. And believe me, most of the time I've worked in the National Assembly, I worked closely with Christians from all over the country, and they became almost a role model to me. And I can mention President David Mark was a role model to me, and he remains a role model to me because he led by example. He led without any iota of bias, of fear. He gave us all that it takes. He's smarter, maybe he has his limitation, but he has shown to Nigerians that one can rule without ethnic, religious, and regional bias.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Senator-elect PDP Bauchi State, Senator Abdul Ningi. Thank you for being here on Newsday.